Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Hopefully you are enjoying your long weekend. And a quick shout out to my newest patron, Dennis. I greatly appreciate it. First things first, Armand shared he's been following the activities of the new car parking lot already for a few years, but he's never seen the Giga Shanghai parking lot so busy, and he thinks stockholders may expect a great third quarter. And yes, September is going to be the third month of the third quarter, which means yes, this should be the highest month for local Shanghai deliveries. And with Shanghai becoming somewhat of an export hub, I know many people were waiting for this month to get some sense and some feel for what the local demand for Tesla is like at this moment. So either way, not going to change the trajectory of Tesla, but in the short term, definitely a fun thread to watch for this month. It could be one of the best we've seen. DA Eric on Twitter shared his daily driver plaid Model S. Naturally, I had to share because it's close to the electrified green, but I do love the tint job and this color will definitely grab some attention, so pretty cool by me. Ty Holland on Twitter said that Tesla was silently updating the sound and adjustability with the update 32.5. You can now fully control the sub independent of the bass. Love these kind of updates. Sounds even better today than at delivery. Elon said a lot of good work happening on Tesla's sound codec and audio software in general, aiming for maximum music dopamine in your brain. I remember growing up, for me, the sound system was the most important part of the car. Of course, it's not exactly the same today, but still very important. But my friends and I used to love getting in the car, driving around together and listening to music. So great to see this update. And if you remember back to when we all saw this battery pack being signed, there was so much speculation. Was this 4680s? Was this structural? Well, it looks like it was actually the 1 millionth battery pack developed or produced at Giga Nevada. So I would say an equally impressive achievement to what we were all expecting. So congratulations to Tesla and the team for that huge milestone. This post was trending on Reddit. It was a Model S with a solar panel on the roof rack. Yes, I will agree that this solar panel does not look real. It hurts the aerodynamics. I'm not trying to advocate for this by any means. And yes, there are questions like where would this plug in? Does Tesla even support trickle-down charging? I get it. Someone in the comment section said this QR code goes to a Florida solar company. I tried it myself. It didn't pull anything up for me, but maybe one day in the future when the economics of solar panels and more importantly, the efficiency become a little bit better, this could be an option for people not that concerned about aerodynamics or just popping it on as it's parked, something along those lines. I don't know. What do you guys think? Looks like Germany is going to decide by the end of this year how much state aid Tesla should get for its planned battery cell near Berlin. The EU in January approved a plan that includes giving state aid to Tesla, BMW, and others to support production of EV batteries. This, of course, to reduce the dependence on China. The EU approved $3.5 billion from the EU Battery Innovation Project, which includes more than 40 companies, and Tesla would be set to receive in the neighborhood of $1.4 billion. And Motor Trend gives us another update on Rivian, this time with the EPA figures. As you can see, the EPA rated the pickup, the R1T, for 314 miles of range, while the SUV, the R1S, comes in at 316. And yes, these figures are for Rivian's smaller battery pack, with the larger battery pack coming later. And they did mention some efficiency, but I'm not sure if these Tesla numbers are accurate because I'm not sure if we have new Plaid kilowatt hour per mile figures, but they said both are more efficient overall, with a long-range Tesla achieving 32 kilowatt hours per 100 miles and the performance 39 kilowatt hours per 100. Because remember, performance is no longer a version for the Model S and X, it is now just long range and Plaid. Either way, they have the Rivian R1T at 48 kilowatt hours per 100 miles and the R1S at 49 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. And if you're new with this metric, it's the lower the number the better because it's just telling you how much energy is needed to travel 100 miles. So revisiting this chart, you can see Tesla in the purple line is now all the way up, at least tied for first place with VW when it comes to sales in Norway for the month of August. And once this limitation of Tesla's export cycle is gone, where is the ceiling? Only time will tell. So here really is the news of the weekend. Alan Chen shared that Elon Musk confirmed Tesla's $3,000 stock price by ARK Invest. And this was the email. If we execute really well, I agree with ARK Invest, from Elon Musk to everybody, 10:30 a.m., sharing the Tasmanian article. ARK Invest confirms the base case for Tesla at $3,000 per share. And Sawyer said he confirms this email below where Elon said he agrees, it'll be worth $3K per share. is real. He continues saying for those questioning, he confirmed with 4 separate sources. He also saw another pic of the email from a source. In addition, Elon liked the tweet below. Just to confirm, if you go to Elon's Twitter, click on likes, there you go. The first and most recent tweet, there we have it. So naturally at first I was a bit skeptical, not really thinking that Elon would do something like this, but at the same time, there would be plenty of reasons to do so. It's definitely a huge motivation for all employees, especially any with RSUs or restricted stock units, or employees with any level of stock ownership or stock exposure. So pair that with the fact that we're heading into the busy season and the back half of the year, which should be very busy, and for some of the Tesla employees, probably somewhat stressful. This would be a good time for some extra motivation to buckle down, work hard, and execute. And this level of stock performance would be a rough 5x from where we are at today. Now, of course, no matter what Elon or anybody at Tesla thinks the stock should be worth, that's not going to move it there, but it's definitely encouraging to see Elon share something like this because that just reinforces his confidence in the stock in the long term. This, by the way, is a 2025 stock price target. We're talking about a 4-year timeline from today, but let's have some fun with it. The year is 2025. It is the end of the year, December 31st. What is Tesla's share price? Go. And if you would like to revisit ARK's updated projections for 2025 for Tesla stock, I have linked it below. And if you want a paradigm shift on how to think about your life, well, here's a pretty interesting tweet. Marcus House said, when listening to Elon speak, it's really like he's counting back from the end of his useful lifespan to now, estimating all the steps and deadlines needed to become multiplanetary. It's a race against the clock for him, for all of us. As Elon shared earlier, time is the ultimate currency. And then to which he replied, yes to Marcus's sentiment. But this right here, pretty interesting way to think about your own life. A possible sentiment change from Elon here. So there was a 2013 email that Elon sent to employees talking about wanting to keep SpaceX private. I will link this tweet below if you want to go read the email. Basically, it has to do with technology companies having very volatile stock prices and some other things like shareholder pressure and stuff like that. But if you want to read it, linked below. I'm sharing because Elon said, a lot has happened in the past 8 years. So a lot of people are speculating that maybe Elon doesn't have these concerns about SpaceX going public anymore, and they're taking it one step further, saying that a public IPO might be even more imminent. I still think we are probably a year to 3 off from that time frame, but that's purely just a guess on my part. Viv asked Elon how many miles of range would be considered very long range, and what's the tipping point where it makes sense to switch to nickel from iron for standard range medium vehicles. And Elon said, this is of course debatable, but I'd call anything with over 300 miles or 500 kilometers of true usable travel distance long range. Beyond that would be very long range. And Tesla Facts said, so smaller reinforced pressure protected prismatic cells for iron-based LFP cells are good and safe, and steel cylindrical for nickel and iron are the overall design sweet spot. Elon said, yes, physics of large cells means distance from the cooling loop to the center of the cell is high, so it's harder to prevent hotspots. Then pressure and heat released from large cell in a weak bag make it impossible to stop the whole pack from burning. Pretty basic. And we got some news over the weekend. The victim of a Tesla crash in Texas did have an alcohol level exceeding the legal limit, and this was the one where no one was found in the driver's seat in the April accident where the Model S caught fire after hitting a tree, killing both people in the car. But to send you guys off to enjoy the rest of your long weekend on a lighter note, here is some more footage of Giga Shanghai. That is all for today. Please take a second to like the video if you did. As mentioned, please enjoy the rest of your weekend, stay safe, and a big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.